What's going on, guys? No, it's not Starfield. I'm surprised some of you didn't notice what it was. It's some of you did. It's Outer Worlds. I love that game. I love that theme song. I think the theme song's very well done. Uh, so I wanted to put that on for you guys because that song has definitely been nice to me, man. Got the Gucci glasses on? No, I definitely don't have Gucci glasses. Let me turn this down a little bit. I still want to play it a little bit in the background. At first, I was like, "Am I gonna put that in there?" It's like Microsoft and Obsidian gonna come after me. Like, is this a wrap for me? Like, is this over? Starfield music will be even better, I bet. I hope so. So we are waiting for Dirt. Dirt had some family stuff. He will be coming. Waiting for Forte as well. Gaming Forte will be here as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now. We got stuff to talk about. Obviously, I'm probably not going to be like energetic like I normally am. I am going through a breakup right now. So don't expect that energetic thing from me because I don't know if I can produce it today. Like, look, Addict is who I am, but I gotta get some oomph. I gotta give it some oomph. But we're gonna get stuff. Yes, hold the line. I cannot believe King with that crazy, foolish hold the line thing. Because now people are tagging me and say hold the line, Addict. Hold the line. I'm not holding nothing. Okay. Is this breakup? Stop it. Is this breakup music? I don't even want to play it. You ruined that. No, Zachary, you can't say nothing. Hold the line, Addict.
No, don't hold the line.
No, General King says we gotta hold the line. We gotta hold the line. That's the rules. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at the person who made the rules. I don't want to no sad stuff in the chat. Stop it. I'm gonna be fine. So it's okay. No sad stuff. Only reason I'm telling you is because, like, if I'm a little off today, I wanted you guys to understand why I'm a little off. We're gonna make Addict hold the line. How you gonna make me do anything? See, the monitors are over here, and the camera's over here. So it's hard for me to, like, keep up with the chat and do that. That's a little bit better. But then I feel like I gotta be. That's good. 1 month to the showcase. We definitely got some stuff to talk about when it comes to the showcase. Let me look at because our shows are on Wednesdays. We'll do the thing on the 25th. I think that's the day. Let me look. Dirt is on his way. It's 24th. Dirt is on his way, guys. It will be okay. Dirt will be here eventually. I'm looking right now. I'm still waiting for Forte. Look, I plan on doing the show by myself, but Dirt's showing up, and so is Forte. So we good. This is the pre-show. All right, this is the pre-show. I bet she was into Redfall, and Addict was like, no. Yo! Stop it. That actually made me laugh. That was funny. Nah, there's just things, when it comes to me and Grace, that was the name of the woman I was dating. She's just got a lot of stuff she's got to take care of, I will say that mental health is extremely important, and I wish the best to her. Sometimes I go through it really bad. I'm going through it right now, but I'll be good. Cracking Den podcast. Go get the rebound, Addict. Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. What's funny is I tried to, like, I felt like maybe if I downloaded like a dating app or something, it would help me like keep my mind off of stuff. I couldn't do it, man. Had to delete them. Not ready for that. Not ready. So I'm gonna jump into some content. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna jump into content, and that's a good way of keeping myself busy. Zelda comes out Friday, so you know I'm gonna do that. You know I'm gonna be on that Zelda. I probably should, go get my hair cut and stuff. Yeah, money over women, right there, only on Xbox. Money over women. No, I didn't. I would have picked my ex-girlfriend over money, but here's the thing. Yes, she broke up with me, obviously. It was a little bit of a mutual thing, but at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like there was clearly issues in the relationship, and continuously attacking the situation until she handles stuff on her end that she feels like she needs to handle. I got to respect that, and I got to step back and let her handle that. Now, obviously, things might circle around, but that's up in the air. No one is guaranteed a future, and right now, I'm not focused on anything about that relationship. I'm focusing on bettering myself as an individual. That's what I'm focused on. We know you won't be on Xbox. Look, man. Xbox being rough, man. I know. Xbox being rough. Zelda will always be there for you, Addict. You know what's funny? Astrocross, it's a Destiny YouTuber. He has if he gets 65,000 subscribers or something like that, his wife is gonna let him name their daughter Zelda, and I think that was funny. That's good, man. That's good. So, we got the Phil Spencer interview to talk about. Let me make sure that they can come in just fine. All right, so I disabled the waiting room. I don't think no one was in the waiting room. Let me go full screen. So I'm waiting for them to come in here. We got some Phil Spencer interview stuff. Just going over general quotes. We didn't talk about it because it was after the podcast last week. Now, we did talk about it on IOP, and I generally try to keep what we talk about on this show different from IOP, but there are certain things that I can't avoid. I have to talk about. And, while waiting for those people, I'm going to tell you, I have to talk about that. EU is a new development, happened today. $2 from John TJ. Hi, Addict. I think the deal will go through. I hope so too, man. It just depends. We don't know what's going to happen on here. We don't know the conditions that's going to go happen. I'll get more into that when we talk about the actual topic. And Starfield actually got rating. They actually are going to have a lot of stuff coming up, and I think we're going to have a really nice show, especially next month. We're going to have a good showcase, and I'm excited for it, man. Shout out to the 187 people in here. We are waiting for our 2 guests. We're a little bit behind today. I apologize for that. We're doing kind of the pre-Addict show right now, so definitely hit that like button if you guys don't mind. Hit that like button. It's 29. I want that like 50. Can 50 be a thing? Can we do 50? I think we can do 50. You guys stop fronting with me and get that to 50. Got Delaware said with the one-man show. Yeah, one-man show. Look, solo podcasting is one of the hardest things that you will do because you don't have someone to bounce back off of. But throughout the years, I've gotten really comfortable at doing the solo podcasting thing. But the only reason I'm able to do it effectively is because I got you guys to bounce off of. I don't got a physical person to talk to right now because Forte is God knows where and Dirt's on his way home. But I got the chat to bounce off of, and that's all I need is that chat. I might hit up a pawn shop and get a Switch. Yeah, all right, hold up. Guys, put in that chat right now. 3 intervals. You guys know how it is. What's Zelda? Tears of the Kingdom going to get on Metacritic Friday or tomorrow? I don't know when. Yeah, tomorrow. What's Zelda again? I'm saying a 95. 94, 95. That's what I'm saying. 94, 95, 93. That's my 3. 93, 94, and 95. Oh, snap. Let's go. 50 likes. You guys love me. I'm joking. I appreciate you guys. I wasn't going to do today's show. Dirt was busy doing stuff, and I'm definitely not 100% here mentally to do this. But I was like, I need some distractions. I need to get out of my head. So I was like, you know what? Let's go on here. Let's talk. Let's give on a show. Let's do what we came here for. And I appreciate you guys coming through, man. I appreciate you guys coming through. We got 201 people in the chat. And we got 55 likes, man. We doing this. We got a lot of 96s, 97s, 98s. You know, does anyone in the chat think this is going to get below a 90, like an 89? It would be interesting if this got below a 90. I don't think that's possible, to be honest with you, but it would be interesting nonetheless if it got below a 90. See, but here's the thing. I think that doesn't matter if the game gets below 90. Sometimes the game still doesn't do well. Bone slave, don't trip, Addict. Love ain't nothing but two people feeling sorry for each other. It's got some point to that, you know. One thing that, you know, I did promise myself after this relationship is I take my health more seriously. I feel like sitting at this desk, you know, if not doing the side stuff that IOP does, or doing shorts, or doing my own videos, or doing the 3 podcasts a week I do feel like I was letting my health decline. And that was one of the things that we went back and forth with. And that's, you know, she was not a bad woman. She did everything she was supposed to. It's just sometimes when you're not mentally healthy, it's hard to really commit to anything. And we agreed that that's something that she needs to work on. And I need to work on my health. I do. You know, sometimes I'll sit in this chair for 10, 15 hours some days, you know, doing shorts for YouTube, doing thumbnails for other people, doing editing for my own channel. You know, I got to do better on that, man. Today I walked like 3.5 miles, and so got to be one of those things. I got to be better for me. I can't do it for another person. Doesn't matter. I got to be better for me, and that's what I'm going to work about. Look at No Bunty. Talk about games, please. Man, we just started. We've been talking about games this whole time. Look at these, man. You talk about real stuff even a little bit, people just go crazy. I get it. You guys sub to these for game conversations. I feel you, man. I feel you. So I'm kind of curious where these people are at this point. You know, Dirt, I kind of expected him to be a little late because he's driving home. But let's call Forte live. Let's call Forte live on the show. All right, you think he's going to pick up, guys? Think he's going to pick up? He's probably watching, so he won't pick up. Nah, it doesn't look like.
Yo.
Hey, we right now in the show. Where you at?
Just up in my house.
All right, man. I sent you the link. Whenever you're ready, just join.
Okay.
All right, man. Peace. All right. No, that's not it. Can you hear me, Dirt?
Yeah.
All right, let me make sure. Yeah, we good. Dirt's in the house, so we can start the show. And I was waiting, but we are eventually going to have Forte show up in here.
Yeah, I got. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I got one slight problem.
What's wrong?
I'm gonna have to leave at 6:30 on the dot, bro.
Oh no, it's fine, dude. Whenever you gotta leave, you got a lot of important stuff going on.
Yeah, I got a lot of crazy stuff going on today.
Head out the back door, man. Don't even say nothing. Be like, I'll see you next week. Like, all right, so let's get into this, man, because we don't got you for long. And you know, obviously, we got to break these things down. So the first thing I want to talk about, let me get this ready for the Timestamp Mafia, because you know how they be. You know, I'm usually I have the Timestamp Mafia stuff on this Timestamp Mafia, you know how, but I'm not. It's like I said, guys, you got to be patient with me. I'm not 100% right now. Where am I? I got to get this. I got to get the time. Okay, the time. So we about what? We're gonna start Starfield 19 minutes. So Starfield, no 20 minutes. Starfield. Dirt. We got a rating. We got a rating.
Yeah.
It's rated M. Did you think this game wasn't going to be rated M? Let's ask that first.
I thought it was going to be rated M. Yes.
Yeah, 'cause I think these days we kind of expected this to be rated M.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that the industry rose, when a game is rated T, it doesn't surprise me.
Yep.
Because I feel like they're so used to just putting stuff out there as a T for teen. Or they love that E, the E for everyone. I hate that one. If something's E for everyone, man, I'm scratching my head. Like, is it really everyone, or is it not for me? Because that's not everyone. You know, if everyone can't play the game, it's not for everyone. Sometimes I do feel like Microsoft has got away from having mature rated games.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, what do you feel about that? Do you think that I do think that they didn't really say that there was going to be any like romantic relations in the game. So it's kind of weird that there's like sexual relations but not romantic. Does that make sense? Like you just be doing prostitutes. That's the only thing I could think of. Like,
hey man, they said they're gonna have drug labs, right? So maybe it's
drug labs, but you can't do drugs. Like,
no, I'm saying. I mean, I don't know, but I'm excited for it, man. Sometimes as adults we need a mature rated game once in a while.
Yeah,
you know,
we mature.
We're mature, man. I like games with swearing in it, violence. I mean, listen, I am a grown man. I'm 46 years old. I love R-rated movies. You know, I do like PG-13 movies also. But if the only movies we had was PG, that would kind of suck as an adult. That's why, I know Forte isn't here yet, or is like Donald Taco in the chat. I haven't looked. That's why I'm not a huge Nintendo fan at this point. Sure,
yeah,
they make great games,
like variety games. Like anyone could pick them up and play them.
Yeah, but sometimes, you know, I want a Grand Theft Auto. I want a Gears of War. I want a Last of Us. You know, that's just me. So to see that Starfield, which is a huge game that's going to be mature, yeah, that's what we want, man.
All right, so let's get these super chats real quick for $5 super chat from Nintendo Don do Otaku. I can't wait for another 6 years of people crying about how overrated Zelda is. The most delicious tears out there. I'm hearing good things about Zelda. I'm hearing good things. A couple people I know have the game. I'm hearing really good things. I expect like a 95, anywhere 93 to 96. That's where I'm expecting. $5 super chat from D Beanie Gaming. Probably butchered that, but we're gonna move right past that. Dreamcast guy's video about Starfield was terrible today about the microtransactions. The reason I don't really talk about the microtransactions because I don't really know what they mean by microtransactions. I don't want microtransactions.
Starfield?
Yeah, apparently there's microtransactions in it. How do you feel about that? What, to me, that can be no big deal, and it could be the big deal at the same time. Like, there could be a lot of bad scenarios that happen with that.
Well, I always said this, even years ago when I had 100 subs on YouTube, I never had a problem with microtransactions as long as they're fair. Just be fair. Don't be pay to win. Is they're fair? They're optional. They're not a huge part of the gameplay. You know, if they're just some optional cosmetic stuff, cool. I mean, however, if Starfield has microtransactions, as long as they're fair, I have no problem with it. I always use an analogy when it comes to microtransactions. Yes, you have a pizza. You can get regular cheese and pepperoni, right? Which is fine. But if you want a little, you know, some extra toppings, it's extra money. That's how I was. That's just my opinion.
I think, to me, the reason I'm not for this, and it's not like you're for it. Like I think at this point you just got to the point where it's like, look, it's gonna happen. As long as it's not intrusive,
they're
I'm
not going anywhere.
Too much.
Yeah.
I think the thing I don't like about it just depends how it does. It's like you said, like if it's one of those scenarios where they're like, look, here's Starfield. If you want to maybe buy certain stuff from other companies, like make your character look different ways like Minecraft, then here's your options to do that. Mm-hmm. But I don't want them hiding stuff behind a paywall, and where you have like anything that can be accommodating besides maybe, you know, maybe skins from other games, like making yourself look like Naruto or something like that. Besides that, if it's in the game, I want it to be available in the game. I don't want you to sell me a gun that you can't find in the game. Like if you want to go and take that shortcut in buying it, that's one thing. But if you make me get the microtransactions to get that gun, that's when I usually draw the line when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, I understand. I just feel at this point it is what it is. You know, these microtransactions aren't going anywhere. They're going to be a part of the gaming industry moving forward. So I think some people might not like it. Like, I don't know if you remember Macho Man. He said, "You might not like it, but you
Someone,
gotta accept it."
someone did make a good point. Maybe it's microtransactions for the creation club. Maybe they're going to be more
Yeah,
open to you buying
which
other
that'd be
people's
fine to me.
stuff.
That'd be fine to me.
So look, here, when it comes to something like that, okay, if someone else takes the time to make something and they want to be compensated for it, then I have no problem giving them money for that. If it's something that I seriously take a value, then that's fine. You can monetize. I'm all about creators being able to monetize their work, and if it's that, then that's fine. And
Right.
if it's something like small, that's fine. But to me, when it comes to like a game like Starfield, there's less stuff I'm going to be okay with than a game like Overwatch or Call of Duty, because I feel like there's way more opportunities to monetize in those other games than there is something like Starfield. There's very few
I
times
agree.
I'm going
I
to
agree
say
with that.
something in Starfield and think it's okay, but I'd see that same practice being used in Overwatch and I think, okay, this makes sense. But when you talk about single player games, you're trying to like sprinkle some some microtransactions, that's when I'm a little side eyeing you, man. I'm sorry
I
eyeing you
mean,
just a
yeah,
little bit.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm just kind of like, they're not going anywhere. I mean, every game is going to try to somehow, like for the most part, it's going to try to somehow sprinkle some microtransactions,
Yeah,
especially these expensive AAA games like a Starfield.
I see you guys talking about Dreamcast guy in the chat. Look, you guys can have a disagreement on what he said, but it's like, and I totally understand if you guys don't watch it. It's like, just don't bring that to my chat. Like, it's like, go tell him you don't like his videos. Like, it's like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got
This
that.
ain't the chat. This ain't the chat for that guy.
Yeah, you can say that in the chat. I ain't gonna like silence you or anything. To me, we know that there are people out there that are very. I don't think Dreamcast guy makes videos that he doesn't believe in. Like I don't think he does any like form of clout chasing. I think he just adds spice to everything he does because he knows it generates extra traffic.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's get on with it, man. Let's get on with it. Let's talk about the Xbox deal with the EU. So we about 28 minutes into the podcast. The EU, the E and the U is rumored that they're going to accept the ABK deal. But I want to put out a little disclaimer.
Yes, please.
True or false, Dirt? We heard these same rumors about the CW.
Yes, put out that disclaimer, please. We heard this same thing, but like that question was asked to many people this morning, but they were saying the difference is, a publication like Bloomberg or Reuters, is it Reuters? They didn't say that with the CMA. I don't know, but I'm just kind of like this. I'm going to wait until it's official before I start talking trash, anything like that.
It's one of those things where it's like,
Yeah.
at this point, the ABK deal, look, we got to talk about it from time to time because like we are, content creators, we're making content, but at the same time, it's like we got to pull back on some of these things. I see people acting like just because this happened, it's a wrap. It's going through now. No, it's not. Even if the EU the EU does approve this, I will say it's going to look better. But at the same time, they still got that the CNA. That's what their name, right? So many abbreviations. CMA, FTC, the EU. They still got some stuff to cover, even if this gets approved.
Yep, I agree. But I will say this: if the EU blocks it, I think the deal is officially done, bro. Officially.
Yeah, so, I think I'm right there with you. I'm like, look, at the end of the day, we just need to do a better job at keeping our expectations. Because here's the thing, like as content creators and stuff and people we know, we got to realize to some degree that if what we say is going to influence other people. So for instance, there's 330 people in this chat. If
Right.
me and Dirk came in here and we'd be like, Dirt, I think this deal is going to get passed. Oh my God, there ain't nothing going to stop it. If we hold the line.
Hold the line. Shout out to King Dave.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to influence a lot of other people, and that's why you're seeing like this like kind of little echo chamber going on in the community where it's like everyone thinks something because a couple influencers like really push the fact this is going to get pushed. Like to me, if you do that, you do that. But to me, this deal can easily not go through, and it can easily go through. We don't know what's going to happen at this point.
Addict, I think a lot of us learned our lesson a few weeks ago. Because listen, let's be honest. On Twitter, on that Tuesday night, a lot of people was like, "Yo, we're gonna wake up in the morning and the CMA is gonna approve the deal. It's gonna be beautiful." I saw a couple of YouTubers already make a thumbnail saying approved, which, you know, myself, I had a thumbnail on WBG that Monday that said CMA will approve the deal.
So
Is going to approve the deal. Yeah, no. Yeah, pretty much, because my show was on Monday. The deal announcement was Wednesday. So yeah, I did it. Several other YouTubers did it, and we all looked foolish. I got so many comments saying this didn't age well. I was like, you damn right it didn't.
I've been doing a video like every day on the weekdays, like almost every day, Monday through Friday, a video every day.
I've been seeing you've been doing good consistent content, bro.
Yeah, and that day, people were like, Addict. You know how many people hit me up was like, Addict, this is going through. This is going through.
Yeah.
So I had every intentions when I woke up that day that I'm about to make a video on that stuff. Like I was convinced I was going to make a video on that particular topic.
Me too, bro.
And then when I woke up and people were tagging me, people were DMing me, the IOP chat was going crazy. I was like, oh, I'm making another video today. Like,
yeah, I had to make a video. I didn't really want to, but yeah. So that's the thing. That's why I think a lot of people are being cautious with this, because we heard some of the same things. Now there seems to be a little bit more, for some reason, confidence with the EU, but I'm still like, yo, man, because I will never forget that Wednesday morning when I woke up and I saw Activision Blizzard stock just dive. I was like, oh shoot. So listen, I'm just like this. I'm going to sit back. I mean, we can talk about it. We can speculate. But as far as this talking trash, no, not until it's official. And even if the EU approves it, like you said, it's still not 100% finalized. It definitely helps the case for it to be finalized, but it's still not finalized yet. So I'm going to lay low. Like I said, if the EU does approve the deal, we will talk about it, obviously. But we're not going to run, 100% this deal will be finalized. I'm not going to say that.
At this point, it's like, look, there is updates on this. It looks like there's rumored that it's going to get passed in the EU, and I think that's going to look really well, especially if they come to an agreement with FTC and get that passed. Because then at that point,
absolutely, then
the spotlight's going to go on one organization.
Absolutely.
And I think they'll have a lot better chance at negotiating with them when everyone else is saying, yeah, we good, but that one person, I think Microsoft will have a lot better chance with that.
Yep, I agree, bro.
We got a $10 super chat from Boss Red 77. I'm about to change my name to the Real Dreamcast Guy because it was Sega that led me to the OG Xbox. Caught it near the end of the gen and instantly fell in love.
Ooh, the OG Xbox, man, I love that thing, bro.
It's pretty good, man. $5 super chat from Drawn TJ. Microsoft could still close the deal and just pay the fines. It's a vertical merger. Can they do that? Can they just pay fines?
I don't know. I do know, like a lot of people are saying, if the EU approves and the FTC approves, Xbox at that point they still can do the merger. Just some things will have to change in the UK, or if some stuff like that. Because some people told me, HBO Max is not available in the UK because of, like, don't quote me on this, because they didn't approve certain things with the merger with HBO Max and whoever else. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, man.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think that there's definitely some stuff going on in terms of what's going on behind closed doors, but I don't think nothing's in stone. I think
absolutely not. Yeah, I agree.
All this is politics. All of it. Who can get the most? I do feel like at the beginning, PlayStation was just causing issues because they wanted a lot of consolidations. And I think when they started noticing, they're caring. They're listening to us. And I felt like that at that point they didn't want consolidations, because even Jim Ryan came out like, I don't want to have a deal with Call of Duty. I want to block this merger.
Yeah, yep.
And part of me feels like if Sony's being this extra over this merger, over this acquisition, like how much of their company relies on Call of Duty?
Yeah, I think, hell, man, he said it. He said if Call of Duty goes in the Game Pass, they can recover. If Call of Duty is owned by Xbox, they can recover. And the last thing is Jim Ryan said, if Call of Duty is better on Xbox than it is on PlayStation, they can't recover. He said that. That's why I'm like, okay, I know we're going to get to the Phil Spencer stuff. I'm like, yes, Phil said some stuff, but Jim Ryan didn't get as much heat for the things he said regarding Call of Duty and throwing his first-party teams up under the bus, meaning Call of Duty means everything to PlayStation. He didn't get as much heat for saying that than like some of the things that Phil said. But I'm sure we'll talk about it.
I wonder if the money they get from PlayStation is so essential for what they do at PlayStation that they're scared rotating some of that money to Microsoft is going to be really devastating to them. Yeah, and I think we don't know where Call of Duty is going to be in 10 years. Call of Duty can be irrelevant. I doubt it. And then 10 years it could be again one of the most profitable games, just like it is now. And when these deals start to end up and it comes to these renegotiating tactics, what's going to look better? You go in there with Call of Duty with the 10 years that's going up, or you go in there and there's no 10 years. And that's why I feel like PlayStation knows, look, this might not affect us right now, but if we don't,
in the long run,
if we don't actually hit this out the park and do what we can to stop this, and it don't matter if we look weak, we gotta stop it. And shout out to Jim Ryan, man, he deserves a raise, because it's just like we sitting here thinking he's making PlayStation look weak. He's making them look like the first person talking about the third person jealous of the third. The first company
place
is jealous of the third company place. But you sitting there looking at that, and it's like that had nothing to do with it. He was just like, sometimes when you need something done, you have to be very dirty about it. $2 super from THX1138 CMA block AT&T and WB merger. HBO Max pull from UK.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to explain. Thank you, bro.
Do you think they would do that though? That's drastic.
Well, yeah, but that's what HBO Max did, because CMA blocked the AT&T and WB mergers. So HBO Max got to prove everywhere else to say, fine, no HBO Max in UK. That's what happened. That's what's going on now. Because I talked to my homie Shaun, who lives in UK. They don't have HBO Max there.
I'm wondering if that gets blocked. Does that mean all of Xbox titles can't be there, or is it just?
I don't think it'll be all Xbox titles. Maybe Game Pass can be there, or maybe Activision Blizzard games can be available for Xbox Game Pass in the UK. Now I'm just talking out of the side of my head. I don't know what the hell I'm saying, but I'm just speculating here. If this deal is approved by everybody except for the CMA, maybe Activision Blizzard games will not be allowed to be in Game Pass. That's the only thing I can think of.
We got Gaming Forte up here. First off, I like that backdrop. It's a nice little backdrop. I got this IOP banner. That's all I got. You got all these colors. Looks like you in a Star Wars movie right now.
I got this 59 rated game behind me, buddy. How y'all like that one?
So what's going on, Forte? You're muted.
You're muted, brother. Forte, the homie.
Oh, he's gone. He's out. Forte has been silenced.
What'd it do?
What's going on, Forte?
There you go.
It was coming through my headset and not my mic.
Yeah, sometimes it does that, especially like these Shure mics. You have a Shure mic. Yeah, these Shure mics do that.
Yeah, definitely.
I need actually this arm. I hate this arm. I need a better arm, because if you see right here, this material isn't the greatest, and the material that puts this arm on it is curved and not flat. So if I move this up right now really fast without holding this part here, it's gonna come off the entire desk.
Get yourself a PSA 1.
You're gonna have to send me a link. You have to send me a link so I can click on it and look at it.
I will. I'll send you a link.
All right, we are talking about the EU being approved. We got till 6:30 before we lose Dirt. He got to go. He got to go straight out the door. He got to do like the A-Team where they jumped out the tank and they were flying the tank. He got to go straight out after that.
They're trying to fly. He's trying to fly a tank right now.
Yeah,
As it's falling.
So Forte, what do you think about the EU? Do you think that this gives hope, or do you think this is one of those scenarios where it's like where me and Dirt are like, look, this is good news in a way because at least it's not being blocked. Well, rumored to, but do you think people need to calm down a little bit and actually see the full-blown announcement? Because it's like me and Dart was saying before you came in here, these same rumors were going on about the CNA.
Sure was.
Yeah.
And guess what? I told people then, I was like, temper your expectations. Who know? Like, man, until this comes out and they actually fully say that we approve this message.
Right. Yeah, I am hands off.
Don't jump off of no ledges that you can't land on.
Hey, yo, Forte, they got so many receipts on Xbox, guys.
Man, I'm good.
Including myself.
They ain't got no receipts on me because I sat there. I was like, all I kept saying is the deal's gonna go through, but until that deal goes through, leave me alone.
Right.
It's just one of those things that, I get
very smart.
From a perspective, especially people captivating on, the console war. I'm sure Dirt over there foaming to the mouth. Accept it. If you accept it, I'm gonna have so much fun. Like,
oh yeah. I do think. I mean, it is definitely a positive step in the right direction. It's like until you actually hear them say that we're going to support this and we actually want this deal to go through. It's like you're going to be, and you should be, especially after with the CMA. The CMA had everybody out here hoop hollering and had Xbox fans out here saying tomorrow's going to be a great day. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to sleep well. When I wake up in the morning, it's going to be sunny and it's going to be real cloudy over there on the other side of California and Santa Mateo. That's what people were saying.
Yeah. I saw it, bro. You're right.
Yeah, it was crazy. Then all of a sudden, just like the weather here in Michigan, things changed.
Yep.
It's crazy.
The exact opposite happened.
The complete opposite. It almost seems like a certain a certain financial analysis for gaming actually said that the deal was going to go through and it didn't, and that man is always wrong. Yeah, every time he says anything.
You talking about Michael Pachter?
Yes. Yeah, it's like he ghosted us, man, got us in trouble. But I do think for the most part, this is good news. But I mean, really, after anything is kind of good news after the last 2 weeks that we had as Xbox fans. Honestly, the
last month, bro.
Well, the last 2 weeks has been pretty.
Oh yeah, last 2 weeks have been pretty bad.
Pretty bad. Like it was teetering in that direction. It was like that.
It was like
you remember
the first 2 weeks is like in the war when they send the scouts, and then it's like they found where we was and they sent the rest of the army.
Right. It's just like it's like the remake. It's like the remake of the first start of the news version of the Star Trek movies when young Kirk was riding in the car and all he saw was the cliff coming. That was like a month ago. You saw the cliff coming and then all of a sudden you forgot that the car was going 70 miles an hour and that cliff's going to get here a little bit faster than you thought.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the cliff is upon you. And that's basically where we are right now. Yeah. So let's just hope that, with this news that it brings more good news in the future, because let's be for real. If the EU does approve it, officially approves it, and then that puts more pressure on the FTC. And then if the FTC falls in line, then it's like CMA, you the only one,
right?
You the only one of the big three. We got 67% of the market basically saying this is good outside of all the other little jurisdictions like Brazil and everything else that approved it. Right. You're the only one that's holding this up. And like you said, at that point, if they wanted to, they could push the deal through and just have like, a bunch of different sanctions where it doesn't really happen over in that part of the world. Mm-hmm. But I do think it puts more pressure on them. But baby steps at this point, that's kind of just look at it as like this is positive news, but don't bank on it.
Right.
Yeah. So
we can't bank on it. Now Not until it's official, bro.
The only thing you can bank on is Nintendo making a fire game that's going to be game of the year at the end of the year. That's the
Look
only
at
thing you
that.
can. That's the only thing you can bank on for the year
Look at
2023, baby.
Look,
I
you
knew
can-
it.
you can
I knew it was
tell
coming.
The deep inside dirt, he is not feeling that statement.
I knew it was
Hey,
coming.
What's
I knew it was
happening?
coming.
Hey, listen, man. Tomorrow's gonna be a big day. Midnight launch. Woo! It's gonna be a big day.
Nice.
All right, so you get that $5 super chat from Rain because
Yeah, I get it. Hashtag TTS, hashtag WBG, hashtag ILP. Dirt looks like he's about to do an unclassified mission. Shout out to Addict and Forte. He rang G4. How dare you, sir?
The
Thank
next
you.
thing you're gonna see is Dirt take all like he's gonna take his glasses off and throw it, and they're gonna explode.
See now, Ray, I'm gonna need you to redo that super chat and add hashtag DPS to that, sir.
There you go.
DPS.
DPS.
We missed it up in there, man.
Hey, we're gonna have to get you and Slow-mo back on here.
Slow-mo.
That was a fun time when we had you and Slow-mo. That actually did very well. People really liked that podcast.
That's
Got
because
a-
Slumbo's combative, and I am too, and I don't take nothing from him.
Got a $20 super chat from Drawn TJ. If the EU passes it, Microsoft will just close the deal and take FTC to federal court because the FTC doesn't have a case. And CMA messed up because Amazon Luna is now in the UK and they have 12 million subscribers compared to Xbox's 5.
That is true. When
So
I
it's-
heard that.
We only got Dirt for like another 10 minutes. We're going to go to
Dirt
this
ain't gotta
Phil
go
Spencer
nowhere,
interview,
man.
man. He's got some real life stuff going on. So
Yeah, I got some stuff going on.
We're going to go into this Phil Spencer. For those of you who didn't know, we missed it because I think it was Thursday of last week.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
So on Kind of Funny, Phil Spencer went on there and he had a couple statements. You know, first thing I want to really talk about, it's the big statement that people talk about, is him saying that, you know, just making good games isn't going to deliver them to like win a console generation, quote unquote. So let's start with Dirt. You know, you don't have to just talk about that. Talk about anything that you want to talk about when it comes to the Phil Spencer, but let's start with that particular statement.
Well, when he said that, I took that like this. For example, a great game is important. We all know that. Exclusives are important. Great games are definitely important. But sometimes having the casual box might outweigh having great exclusive titles. Let me explain. The Nintendo GameCube had great exclusives. People only care about the PS2 because they were buying all of the multiplats, the big multiplats on the PS2. The same thing with the N64, same thing with the original Xbox. You know, these games are great. They mean a lot, but I think what Phil was trying to say, nobody is going to all of a sudden, if you're a PlayStation fan, you're not going to all of a sudden stop playing PlayStation, leave the ecosystem and go to the Xbox ecosystem because you want to play Starfield, and Starfield is a great game. Now, those guys will maybe buy Starfield on a PC. They might even buy a console just to play Starfield, but they would probably not switch ecosystems. I am an Xbox fan, but I do have a PS5. I like the PS5. I play some of their exclusives, but after I'm done with those exclusives, I'll go right back to the Xbox. So I think he meant ecosystems. Nobody's going to become a Xbox fanboy immediately because of a good game. I mean, some people disagree. This is just how I took what he said. That's just my opinion.
Okay, so let Forte obviously, you know, there's a lot. What I don't like about this is it was so open of a statement. You could literally take this a couple different ways.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give my because I want you and Dirt to talk more because we only have Dirt for like another 10 minutes. Final super chat from Iron Mike. Lotto hypocrites. Turning a blind eye to low-res textures pop in 15 FPS frames and paying $70 on Friday. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. He's talking about Redfall?
I hope he's talking about Redfall because
Zelda. I
Redfall
think he's
got
talking about
destroyed.
Zelda.
Oh, okay.
How you
I would say
feel
because
about
Redfall
that,
got killed. What are
Forte?
you talking about?
That 15, you gonna pay that 70 for that
Hold on,
15
hold on.
FPS?
Read that. What is that super chat? Super Chris turning a blind eye to low res textures pop in 15 frames per second, paying $70 on Friday. Nostalgic hell of a drug.
On
Listen,
Friday, he definitely talking about Zelda.
Listen,
$70 for 15
Uh-oh.
frames?
Listen.
I might get a pissed off Forte, man.
Look, he's,
I don't-
he's,
listen, I have a
he's
drawer.
looking, he's
No,
looking for that
listen.
medicine to help him calm
No.
down. He's like, where
No.
is it?
Listen, I have a drawer at my job filled of stuff that's from Zelda that comes out on Friday that I'm picking up on the same day. Trust me, I do not want to spend $70 on a game. This game, I don't want to spend $70 on a game that's going to probably run at 24 frames per second at most on the platform that I'm going to play it on.
Tears of the frame rate?
I don't want to do that.
Iron Mac, I think you got him on the ropes.
Listen, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
You got to tuck and roll, Forte. You got to tuck and roll.
But just like I played a busted piece of crap of a game back in November of last year when Halo Infinite came out.
Okay, now I got to stop you there. The game wasn't
busted. It wasn't broken.
No. It was okay, not busted.
Oh, now look at him. He lost track.
Incomplete. Yeah, you're right. Incomplete. I played an incomplete game knowing that I told myself I am not going to play this game because this game should not have come out right now. It should have came out a year later. Why are we playing something that's incomplete? I still played that game reluctantly, have fun with it. But the thing for me is, if I'm a fan of something, I don't care what it is. There's only 3 major franchises in the whole world that I will drop everything for. Biases and everything go out. So
what's the 3? We got Zelda. Obviously, you're gonna pay 70 for 15 frames. Okay, what's the next one?
Zelda, Halo.
Okay.
And Mass Effect.
Mass Effect, something we ain't really seen in years, and Halo.
Something that was my three loves.
It sounds like you're holding on to hopes and dreams.
Well, I already know. Did you see the announcement that dungeons are definitely confirmed for Tears of the Kingdom?
I got to see the dungeons because technically the shrines could have been considered dungeons.
No, nobody.
I'm sure if you talk to someone on the dev team, they would have said they consider the shrines the new age dungeons.
I'm never going to tell anybody that you should clown people like me that's up here. I don't take it personal with people.
Man. At least
I don't take it personal when people say, you sitting up here talking about this game and you're also saying how Redfall runs like garbage and nobody should play it. I didn't say nobody should play Redfall. I'm just saying have better standards. If you got a system that you bought that cost $500 and the promise was to be able to play your games at a higher frame rate, then you should hold them to that standard. Now let's not act like that when Nintendo came out with that Switch, that everybody knew that these games was going to be running subpar 900p and everybody knew these things was going to be running lower than 30 frames per second. Now that doesn't excuse the fact of the matter. It's just the fact that I will not accept anything less when they do their next system than what we have now. We can't go backwards. Would I like Tears of the Kingdom to be on a more powerful system? Absolutely. I will still download it and play it on my PC after I buy everything for Zelda because I got to support. I got to at least support it. But Zelda's one of those franchises that it doesn't matter. You're going to buy it if you're like a true fan of it. You're going to see a completely different backdrop in this room when Zelda comes out. I got canvases of Zelda. It's going to be all over the place in here. But yeah, but you should hold people accountable for the things that they say. If they say some stuff like Redfall's trash and why are you playing, but they turn around and want to play Tears of the Kingdom at 15 frames per second, then yeah, you got them. But at least I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm a fan, so it doesn't matter.
You had me at we got him.
You got me.
I understand what you're saying. If you're a fan of something, you might be a little bit lenient with certain things. You might overlook certain things. So I understand what he's saying.
Now I wouldn't accept that. Now for God of War, I'm not accepting that from Sony.
No, so Sony got a different standard.
Dude, yeah,
that's
you
the
got
part that be killing me. Nintendo be like,
system.
at least it runs. At least
Sony got a different system. Their system says I should be able to play. What do you see Nintendo out here saying that our system's online with low NPCs? Do you see that?
No, it's probably not even online with low PCs.
It's probably it's not even online with a high-end phone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my phone here might be.
It's more powerful than a Switch at this point.
That's so sad, though, man. All right, let's get back to Phil Spencer. Let's bring this back, Phil Spencer. All right, so here's the thing, because we're probably going to end this around the time Dark goes. Me and Forte might chick around and talk about the Starfield topic for a couple of seconds, but here's my thing when it comes to it. I don't think Phil Spencer meant, we're never going to try to compete with PlayStation. I think Phil Spencer was on some, look, there is a lot of things we need to improve, and we're going to improve them. But when it comes to manufacturing, running a console, there's more to it than just a publisher. Because a publisher, they just got to make good games, and that's all. A console can have bad relations, not necessarily bad relations, but its competition can have better relations with something like Square Enix, and that could cripple the games. There's more to it when you run a console than just selling good games. Now, I would say in terms of like percentage, it's like, I'd say 75-25. 75, if they came out there and they had high quality games every 3 months like they claim, that did well, sure, they might not appeal to me, but they do well. People would have a way more perspective and perception on the Xbox brand because these games are on it. The problem is we're not getting these games. The problem is we get stuff like Redfall that's extremely underwhelming to a vast majority of people, including myself. And I think that's the issue. And I wish Phil would have, because you could tell Paris tried to have him clear it up a little bit, but he ran out of time. I wish he would come out with a statement on Twitter and clarify exactly what he meant, because I feel like the statement could be deciphered multiple different ways. I think he was saying, yo, people want to come out here and act like this console war stuff where we just got to make better games and we're going to be PlayStation. That's not the case when you actually run a platform. If that was the case, God of War would outsell Call of Duty every year, would outsell Madden every year. That's not the case. The majority of the games that sell the most on every platform at the end of every generation, all of its is multi-plat. All of it, for the most part.
That's the point I made. You know,
Except
that
for
casual
Nintendo.
box. Huh?
Except for Nintendo.
Yeah, except for Nintendo. Right.
It's
Except for Nintendo, because look,
refuses
but
to
they
let
don't have
people in the
any.
room.
Yeah, they don't have. Yeah, like they don't have quality. But look, you're absolutely right. Let me say this. Also, when he said that the Xbox One generation was the worst generation to lose, 100% agree.
I agree.
100% agree, because we're all old enough to know every generation it starts over. Phil mentioned that it starts over. I remember when the 360 and the PS3 started. I know the PS3 they let you play PS2 games initially, but quickly that stopped. 360 I couldn't play original Xbox games, things like that. This was the first generation where you can play every single previous generation game seamlessly, and the digital libraries were huge last generation. So the Xbox One generation was the worst gen to lose. That's why guys are not about to start over going to the Xbox. Xbox realized they have to do things differently, right? I saw somebody mention on Twitter the Nintendo GameCube was the last traditional Nintendo console that was just as powerful as the other two consoles. They realized they can't compete with power with the Xbox and the PlayStation. Even though the GameCube was technically more powerful than the PS2, you know, they had them small ass little discs, you know. But so Nintendo said, we got to do something different. We have to do something different. Yes, Mario was great. Zelda is great, but that did not move the needle for the GameCube. It just didn't. It didn't move the needle. So they said, let's do something different. Let's compete in a different way. And that Nintendo Wii blew up. It blew up so much that Xbox had to connect, and PlayStation had PlayStation Move.
Yeah,
so
Xbox
realizes, listen, man, you can say it's a defeatist attitude or whatever. It's just this. They realize that, what PlayStation 4 dominated. A lot of people just made the simple transition to the PS5. Xbox is probably not going to be able to grab those guys just by having a couple of great games. Yes, they're going to continue to make great games. They're going to make great games, I should say. Of course, Redfall was a stumble. They're going to make great games, so they need to figure out how to capitalize without, out counseling Nintendo and PlayStation. And I think that's what Phil was saying.
Yeah, so you know what? Get your last bars off, Dirt. I know you have to get out of here. Anything else you want to talk about when it comes to the Phil
Bring me some
Spencer
food
interview?
too while you out.
Yeah, I'm about to go to Wingstop, man. Nah, I got to make a
Wingstop.
couple runs. No, I mean, that's pretty much it, man. I thought the interview was a good interview. Like, he was transparent. You can tell he was really frustrated. He was upset about the Redfall situation. And you know what? But you know what this interview told me? That Phil Spencer definitely listens, he reads what's going on in our community. He already said, I already see the Firefield stuff. I've been seeing that stuff too. So that obviously he's been seeing it. and he knows what he needs to do. He mentioned Hellblade 4. So he said, I've seen these games. I've seen them. He's anxious to show them these games to us. And I think,
And
it's at the point where it's coming, but we'll see what happens, man.
I don't know if you guys caught it because I know I only got dirt for like another 2 minutes, but Kid Smooth mentioned something to me. I didn't notice it at the time, but did you know like the promotion for this E3 has Avowed and Hellblade in it?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
No,
well, it could be just us looking too much into it, but if you look at the picture, the flames is that same flame.
Oh yeah,
that's in Avowed, and the signal, like the Sigias at the like the bottom left and bottom right is the same ones that's in the Hellblade commercial.
Well, I can definitely believe that Avowed and Hellblade 2 will be at this year's showcase. Absolutely, those two games.
Hellblade's coming out at the end of the year.
I'm there because
And
they
Avowed
put
is
that
in March of next year.
they put that
sounds good, Forte.
They put that Hellblade commercial in that like games that's coming out this year.
Yeah, the Game Pass
Phil Spencer talked about it in a recent term, like it's recent. It's going to come out soon, and I'm really starting to, especially with it in that showing case. Now, obviously, we kind of expected it to be there, and it could be the beginning of next year. But to me, that's one of the biggest things that makes sense is that game's going to be there, and I think that.
I think the moment they didn't show it at the Game Awards was the reason they didn't show it there is because they didn't want to have fatigue of showing the game. So I think they
the
held
combat's
it.
the last thing they're going to show.
Yeah, I think that's exactly. So I think they held it out at the Game Awards because the combat is the thing that people want to see, and they're going to show an actual live gameplay demo during or probably not to get live gameplay demo, but a demo of it being played at the showcase, and that's why I think it is coming out this year during this holiday.
Yep. Hey, can I say something right quick before I leave?
Yeah.
I agree with everything you just said, but I see Slow Mo said it remains to be seen if they can make a system seller, like he's talking about Xbox, which is a great point. But at this point, bro, let's be real. Forte, what are the system sellers? Call of Duty, maybe?
Yeah. I always tell people that next generation doesn't start until Call of Duty says it does.
Right. Now, I think Hogwarts Legacy moved a lot of PS5s in, was it February? I really think that it moved a lot of PS5. So exclusives are huge. I do think Spider-Man is a system seller.
It is.
So Xbox does need that system seller again. And I think they will figure out a way to have that, or at least for them or the Game Pass seller. I don't know. But I do want to say that, but sometimes the multi-platform games can be system sellers also.
Well, Starfield's supposed to be
most of the time the multi-plats are selling way more.
I do
than
think
exclusive.
Starfield has a chance to be a system seller for Xbox.
It's not should. It's not. It should be.
I think Starfield has the extreme potential to be a system seller. I think Fable does. I don't know about Hellblade. I don't know about Hellblade.
I don't know because the name isn't out there yet. But I definitely believe, like you guys are right, Starfield, Fable.
One thing, I know you're about to leave. One thing we don't talk about that's going to be definitely a system seller?
What's that?
Elder Scrolls 6. People think the outrage was bad over Starfield and some of these games not coming to PlayStation. Imagine when they start picking up on, like, that game gets in a development where they can start showing it consistently and it only on Xbox and everything, that Xbox and PC, obviously. I think people don't realize that game hasn't really had a presence since 2011, but there's a reason it keeps coming back out because it's extremely desired and wanted. And when the next iteration of that franchise is only on one particular platform, it's going to push people to the Xbox ecosystem.
There you go. I agree.
So, if you don't know what system sellers are, PlayStation has won MPD for the last 4 or 5 months in a row over everybody, Nintendo included. Guess what's going to happen for the month of May when those numbers finally come out? For some reason, Nintendo's going to win. And guess what? Because they had a system seller that came out, even knowing a lot of those people already have the system. And that's the funny thing about it. People already have the system.
Put in the chat. Tell people where you are, man. Put your stuff in the chat.
Yeah, I'll put it in. Check out my channel. Good old Dirk Griggity. Pony Free Zone.
Don't go in there if you're gonna go in there and troll, because there's no second offense. You out of there.
All right, guys. I appreciate. I gotta get out of here.
All right, see you.
Thank you.
Derek.
I put everything in the chat. Thanks, man.
So this dude's coming
Later,
after
bro.
you,
Peace out, Forte. Hey,
This,
man.
bro.
this dude's coming after you, Forte. He says $5 super chat. Nintendo Don Otaku's coming after you. He says I'm not Forte. Zelda was a 7 out of 10 franchise that was the same game reskinned before Breath of the Wild. Not even in my top 5. Breath of the Wild was so good, it became my favorite.
I agree. Zelda was always in my top 5. It just became my top 3 once Breath of the Wild came out.
All right, let me get these other super chats real quick. Man, you guys are really showing up. I appreciate it, man. Not even just the super chats, the likes, the views, man. I'm having a rough week, man. Been having a rough week. $2 super chat from Gamer by Choice. Xbox wants an ecosystem seller. Seller systems are a plus. So I feel you on that, but I do think that the best way for them to get them in the market is to sell the console. So that is still probably one of their top priorities, but it's not on the very top. Bone Slayers, the $2 super chat. Greatly marketed third parties can be system sellers. Yes, Call of Duty is in there every day. He's doing very good. So let's get into the Starfield conversation, man. Starfield. What's going on with you in Starfield, man? What's going on with you in Starfield?
Same thing that's been going on with everything Xbox, in a holding pattern, waiting to see exactly how this is going to play itself out. I'm not really a big Bethesda game. Like I'm not really into the whole medieval style type of game, like how Skyrim and stuff was. I am more into the sci-fi aspect. That's why Starfield is more of a bigger interest to me. So I'm definitely want to give that a try, just because, like people say, Skyrim in space and all this other stuff. But I just like the overall atmosphere of what they're setting in it. But I'm a realist, and I have to be very cautious of what's been going on. Do I think Starfield is going to be good? I do. I think it's going to be good, but as an Xbox fan, I feel like it can't just be good.
Do you agree with the term that Ryan McCaffrey said, that he feels like it's got to be a 10 out of 10?
No.
Yeah, I think that's a little too
kind
of unrealistic.
Because I don't think it's not Starfield's place to basically save Xbox. Xbox needs to save itself by not only having a game like Starfield come out, but they need to have more games like that follow in line and concession to consistently be that type of game. Starfield's just going to be the eye of the storm because it's going to be the next game on the list, and it's following up an abomination that was Redfall in the way that it came out. So everybody's going to be looking at that game with that type of lens. But in my opinion, I feel like it's Microsoft and Xbox's job to kind of help Starfield be everything it can be. But the only way they're going to do that and get all the pressure off of it is not let Starfield just be the only thing we have. It's like we have a lot of other games. Get some type of third-party deal or something that you can talk about and announce. It doesn't have to be something that comes out this year. We just need to know, what is Xbox got for us in the future to get you more excited? What is, like you said, we're going to probably see Hellblade at the showcase. We're going to see Avowed. What are those things going to do? Like, once we see those games, then a lot of the pressure naturally will kind of fall off of Starfield, just because people are going to be even more excited about the stuff they saw in the future. But if those games don't show well, for some reason, like Microsoft has this problem with showcasing their games and people not being really excited for them after they see them, then all the pressure shows up on Starfield to be what they needed to be at that point. But it's Microsoft's job to basically get everybody excited for the future. And Starfield just needs to be one part of that future, not the whole thing that's going to save Xbox, So I disagree with Ryan McCaffrey on that.
Yeah, I think Ryan's putting too much pressure on Starfield. Now, Starfield's got to come out and it's got to be great. But to put 10 out of 10 positions on it, I think that's too much. Starfield's never going to be a perfect game in a way, because I don't think 10 out of 10 is a perfect game. I think 10 out of 10 is the developer gave you the quality of everything they meant to give you. Everything in the game, every mechanic works flawlessly. There's no real big issues, I think that is where you truly put a 10 out of 10. And to me, I do think this game's going to be good because Phil just being a little extra with this. Would you not agree? Like, Phil was like, look, I could tell you that I love Starfield and I think you guys are going to love it. But at this point, you want to hear from me. So I'm going to let you get those in your hand, those sticks in your hand, and you going to tell me what that game's doing.
Right. And that's the way it should be when it comes to just your excitement level. Wait until you have it in your hands. I mean, it's cool to have influencers and content creators tell you about what they feel about it, but until you get that in your hands and experience it, that's when the ultimate, surprise should happen for you, at least.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like, this isn't just on Starfield. Starfield's got to come out. It's got to be a solid experience, fun. It's got to be innovative to a degree. I don't think it's got to be like the way that like Dustin was saying, but I do think it's got to do things differently, and I think it is because it's the first game that this studio hasn't done that isn't Fallout or Elder Scrolls in like 15 years. Starfield's got to come out and deliver, but they got to show you what the future is. Hellblade got to come out 2 or 3 months later, and it's got to deliver to a degree. And then 2 or 3 months, 4 months after that, Avowed's got to come out, and it's got to deliver. Like, this isn't on one game. Starfield's going to set the trend and start to give people a little bit of hope, but it's going to take the whole stable to fix the issue.
Right. Slow-mo says, I disagree. Xbox put this pressure on Starfield by releasing a bad game like Redfall. Until they have games that gamers feel they need to play, that pressure is going to be with every game they make. I agree with that.
But no one's disagreeing with that. Like,
I don't disagree with that. I just don't think that it's Starfield's place to be the messiah.
It's everyone's
of Xbox.
place.
It's Xbox's place to make that. Now, he's absolutely right that like I said earlier, Starfield's going to have unnecessary pressure on it due to what Redfall did, but they could kind of alleviate some of that pressure by showing some of the stuff at this showcase and letting those games actually shine. Because you could, like, we all look at these games and say, hey, that looks really good. And if we see something that really sparks your interest and kind of takes your mind off of, well, Starfield's the next big game they got coming, and then you can start thinking about what the future holds instead of like, well, we got to wait for the next Xbox game to come out to see if they actually deliver or anything like that. At least that way, all the pressure isn't just on Starfield, because now you have other games that you've seen that you can dissect and analyze and say, hey, I really like what they did here. I like what they did there. And then when Starfield comes out, yes, the expectation is still going to be there, but it won't be all just just falling down on Starfield's neck at that point, because Xbox showed a little bit more that people should be more excited about outside of just that game. But that's up to Microsoft to do. Yeah, and we got to see if they do it.
We got some super chats here. We got a $5 super chat from John TJ. Just think the ABK Xbox has Starfield, Halo, Gears, Forza, Elder Scrolls, and Diablo, and Call of Duty all system sellers. I agree. Getting the ABK is definitely going to help them have quote unquote system sellers. But how many of those
system seller?
How many of those games are going to be exclusive? I don't think a lot. Gears is definitely, Forza definitely, Elder Scrolls most likely, Diablo that's up in the field, and Call of Duty they've already said would be a multi-plat if they do buy the company. So at the end of the day, they do need these games on Game Pass, but they also need stuff to make their ecosystem and their consoles appeasing, and that does take making games exclusive. Now the ABK deal is going to be good for Game Pass, because it's going to give that service a lot of value. But in terms of selling systems and selling the platform and selling their services on the platform, they're going to need exclusive stuff that's only on their platform. They're just going to. I don't know that's why I felt like Sega was a better one, because you could literally have bought Sega and made all that an exclusive to your platform. Because I don't think the regulators would have went at Sega like they're going at this company. We got a $5 super chat from David Loins. I think that's how you want me to pronounce it. I apologize if I messed that up. Looking good, Forte, with the weight loss. Lost 125 pounds myself. Keep up the good work. Yeah, man, that's what I'm working on too. I'm trying to be healthier.
Looking at that slender addict. Let's go.
Yeah, not yet, man. I got a long way to go, but I'm gonna really start working on it. So, you know, anything else you want to talk about, Forte? We're going to get up out of here because we kind of went over everything.
No, you're good. Mo basically just asked what he said, is Xbox putting pressure on Starfield, or do you think the community is putting more pressure on Starfield?
I think the community's putting pressure on Starfield, but I think Xbox is putting a spotlight on Starfield. There's a difference.
Yep, and that is the difference. The spotlight doesn't need to be there if Xbox... Go think about it like this. God of War has a spotlight on it, but you released a game called Horizon Forbidden West earlier in the year that had a spotlight too. Now, that game wasn't really... Now, take it or leave it how you feel about the story and how bland and how uninteresting Aloy seems in that game. That game is a technical marvel when you look at it. The Decima engine is incredible. And as much as some people say that game's boring, you will never say that that game isn't a good game. It may not be a game that you want to play because you just don't like the way the story is implemented in it, but there's a lot of people that really enjoyed that game. So God of War never got the pressure put on it that it would have got if once they didn't come out earlier that year, because they had something to kind of buffer. And that's the thing I always tell gamers about the difference between Xbox and PlayStation. People keep saying, well, PlayStation hasn't had a game. They haven't even announced the game for this year from their first party, and it's already 6 months in. And I said, you know why people aren't complaining about it? Yes, PlayStation gamers want to see what PlayStation has to offer. They're definitely getting anxious. They definitely want to see it. But literally not even 7 months ago, they got a game called God of War that was incredible, that lasted with them long enough to get them to the next game. So the last time that they took a bite from the PlayStation Apple, the game they got was amazing, and they're willing to wait for the next thing. Whereas the last thing that Microsoft released and the things before that kind of been hit or miss. Now, Hi-Fi Rush is an anomaly in that just because it was a stealth drop, but it wasn't the AAA game like God of War was. Now, it was still a good game, but we're talking about games that move the needle to an extreme where you had the possibilities of selling 10, 15, 20 million copies of a game. That's what Xbox needs to start doing. So that's why I always say, listen, PlayStation gets away with stuff like that is because the last game they released was really, really good. And even if you go back to the year of 2021, after the PlayStation 4 came out, people was like, oh, well, they have nothing for the holiday. Well, they did release they released Ratchet and Clank that year. Spider-Man came out as a release game, and they released Returnal that year. That was 3 games that released, and they didn't have nothing for the fourth quarter. But guess what they did have? They had exclusive titles like Ghostwire Tokyo, which was a game that they got from Xbox because of the exclusivity deal. And they also got Deathloop at the end of the year. So those aren't first-party titles, but those are games that was on their ecosystem that you couldn't get anywhere else at that point. So that's kind of the marriage you got to kind of understand, that PlayStation doesn't have to do what Xbox is doing, because PlayStation is kind of doing things right on their own. We just want Xbox to get caught up to doing stuff like that.
Yeah, the problem is, like, when you realistically look at it, is they spent too much time on the 360 using other people's games.
Using other people's games.
And then when they started trying to self-correct during the Xbox One, Microsoft didn't even know if they wanted to keep the brand or not. And when
they closed all their studios.
Yeah, when something like that happens, it's pretty much stopping all progression. Like, for probably 6 months to a year, nothing was going on in Microsoft at all because they didn't know what they wanted to do with the brand. But then when Phil Spencer convinced them and showed them, what they can do, and made Game Pass more of what Microsoft's doing as of a whole when it comes to like Microsoft Office, Windows, I think that showed them that they can have this and it can actually be what Microsoft's about. And that's when it pushed it forward, and that's when they were willing to open it up, because Microsoft will invest. They will invest if they feel like it actually can go somewhere. But at the end of the day, it takes time to build stuff. Now, we got to see the games. Redfall is not a good indication. I'll agree with you guys 100%. Redfall is not a good indication. But at the same time, I feel like Starfield and Hellblade, especially Hellblade. I think Hellblade and Avowed is going to be the most important games for Microsoft for a lot of reasons. And one of the biggest reasons is they were entirely funded by Microsoft.
I agree.
$2 from David Lowens. Pronounced Lions. Everyone does it. It's cool, man. I appreciate it. See, I knew something was up. Up. Lions.
Never watch Hustle? You never watch Hustle and Flow?
No.
Oh,
I think
good
I've
show.
seen it, but it's hard to tell if like I really paid attention. See, you know, we ain't gonna go into that. But all right, so let's start, you know, really rail this back. Where
Yeah,
can
it's
people
good.
find you at, man? What's going on?
They can find me here on YouTube, Gaming Forte. Also on Twitter, Gaming Forte. DPS podcast. We rotate the channel. We have a DPS channel, so if you don't know where the channel is rotated at that week, you can always go to that channel and subscribe and watch it over there. But the homeboy Slumber Backslap, who's in the chat right now, he's going to be moderating the channel on the show on his channel this Thursday, 9 p.m. tomorrow. Going to be a great time. Going to be talking about all this stuff all over again.
We're gonna
Go
really
ahead.
have to like get all the IOP members to like do a collab with you guys on your channel.
I think the only person we had is you and Cog.
I'm gonna talk to all three of them, and you're like, yo, let's find a good week on a Thursday.
Yeah, we'll.
And let's all.
Yeah, we could even do it earlier in the day because I know some people have other obligations and stuff. So we can always move times and
Solve
stuff.
works like constantly. He's the only person that's a wild card if he can make it or not, because Solve's always working.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Yeah, like I said, whatever. We always here to do anything with the lores. We love you guys, and it's always great to be invited on platforms like this because you guys, you give everybody a chance to basically, you know, shine, and we appreciate that. So, whenever you guys are ready, just let us know, and we'll definitely make it happen. But yeah, check us out tomorrow over there. Make sure you go sub the Slow-Mo Backslaps channel too. He does amazing content. He's did a really good video on Xbox recently talking about the things that Xbox needs to do with their platform and everything. So check that out too.
Put in the chat both your all three the DPS YouTube channel. Put Fortes and Slow-Mo's. Probably Forte put yours so because I know all of them are gonna look alike. So you put yours and Slow-Mo put his. Oh, it's Blandrew. What's up, Blandrew? You know what? I miss you on Weapon. Even though, you know, you said some harsh things about me in private. We won't go too much into that. I know we talked that through. I ain't forgot about that, Blandrew. I ain't forgot. But I do like your podcast when you do it. You know, Blandrew's one of the most gifted people in the community when it comes to editing, how the flow is. He does it like he's very good on executing videos. But he just sometimes, man, you got to make priorities, and I get it. You know, my priorities probably wasn't 100% where they should have been. It's probably why my relationship fell apart. But
man,
you know, so I get it. It's hard to really do that. Sometimes you get too tunnel vision, and it hurts other aspects of your life. I'm gonna really improve on that, especially when it comes to like my health. There's a lot of things I really need to go over. But I appreciate you come through here, man. You know, it's been a crazy week, and I think it's gonna be good. I had up to like 450 people in here. You know, hit that like button, Blandrew. It's the least you could do is hit that like button. I appreciate all you guys for coming through. It's been a crazy week, man. It's been a crazy week. But I have a light at the end of the tunnel. It's called Zelda on Friday.
Yes.
So
talk with your chest.
Yeah, I'm gonna distract myself hella much with that game. Where do you think the Metacritic score gonna be with that game?
97.
97. That's bold.
97.
That's bold.
I think they did. If the footage we saw of the dungeons is actual dungeons and they're substantial enough, and we'll get the reviews very soon. If they're substantial enough, then yeah, 97. Because I think this game fixed all the, like, a lot of people don't like the destruction when it comes to your weapons and stuff, but I think they did enough tweaking to that to make it more digestible. People still don't want it, but
once this
I think
game
they did enough.
is so good, it gets a 10. Like it's a 10.
Well,
out of 10 on
in
everything.
order for it to get a 97, some people are going to give it 10s.
I think a lot of people are going to give it 10s.
I think IGN is going to give it a 10 again.
Once the embargo lifted, I don't know. I haven't talked to anyone about. I've talked to people about like the game itself, but I haven't talked to anyone about like when the embargo. I would assume tomorrow. Tomorrow the embargo lifts.
I think it's going to be midday tomorrow. You'll probably wake up in the morning and see a whole bunch of articles of 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be 97 overall, though.
And another thing, man, I want to thank you guys for like the love of my personal YouTube channel. Like, I'm seeing a lot of growth on that, and I'm putting a lot of content. I'm doing a video Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, especially this week. We're on Wednesday, Monday, and Tuesday's videos was rough for me to get out, especially Mondays. But I didn't want to do Mondays. Only thing I wanted to do Monday was sleep, and I got myself out of bed, made sure I ate, and I did that video. And you guys been showing up, and what people don't realize about YouTube is it makes it easier to grow on YouTube when you have a base audience that watches all your content, because it naturally puts you more into the algorithm every week. So I'm going to put my YouTube channel in the chat. So definitely go over there and sub to that if you guys ain't sub to that. I've been making a lot of content, guys. I've been putting in that work. Okay?
Yeah.
Monday through Friday. And I think I might have a video Sunday. I don't know yet.
So it looks like, let's see, we got a couple people saying, so Superman says Breath of the Wild was a 97. Then we got Metroid says it's going to be a 97. Clown said it's going to be a 101. Nightwolf 95, Nyx 95, Texas 94, Mass Produced 98, 97 from Slow Mo. Random Citizen says 90, 94, 96. So the game's going to be in the 90s. Is it going to be the high 90s or the mid 90s? Because I don't think it's going to be low 90s.
You know what would be crazy? If
it comes out of this at 88.
88, 89. Like, I doubt that's the case. I highly doubt that's the case. But like these days, Nintendo usually gets a blind eye for a lot of things, so I think they'll get a pass. But a lot of people are like, "Oh, you didn't do this differently." Oh, it's a wrap. 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I doubt it. The odds of that game being below 90 is probably like 10%, but it
Mr. Ordinary says
crazy.
89 just to be messy.
It would be crazy if that got an 89.
It would. That would shock me more than anything. If it got that close to a 90, it didn't hit. That would be wow. I'll be like, what happened? Yeah, I'll be skimming the reserve. I'll be like looking at everybody's reviews to see exactly why they gave it not a 90. I would think that would be more. Honestly, to be for real, even though as much as I love the franchise, I think that would bring more intrigue to the game. It hitting 89 than it being at a 97, because people will want to know, like, well, why did it only get a 90? Why did it even hit 90? I think people would care even more if it didn't, which is funny.
Let me. Okay, someone in the. I don't know if you're listening, but I'm gonna do you a solid, and this is the only time I'm ever gonna do this solid. Someone said I've been blocked off the ILP channel. All right, I'm not gonna even look what you did. All right, his name is Mike Johnson. Okay, I'm not gonna look what you did. I'm gonna give you the unblock this one time, Mike Johnson. You're right there. You're right next to God of War 8585 and Jasmine Orzol. So I'm gonna let you live. I'm gonna let you breathe. You are officially free. But if you get blocked in, because I don't do that, I don't unblock people most of the time. My mods were on point. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they got you wrong. You had to listen to that. So I'm gonna let you out of jail. You're out of jail, but don't do it again, man, because I ain't doing it again. Yeah. $2 super chat. This is your one and only opportunity to stay out of jail. Randy G with the $2 super chat. Tears of the Kingdom will score high because of the name. Yeah, I agree. Zelda has a certain name in the industry, so I do think that it can really pull off of that. So once again, I want to appreciate everyone coming through. Like I said, you guys have been showing up heavy the past couple weeks to this show, and I really appreciate that. I think this is the fourth show in a row we've had over 400 live viewers, and we keep doing it because you guys keep showing up. Obviously, if there was no audience, I wouldn't keep doing this. And I appreciate everyone for coming through here, especially the week I've had. I've had a pretty janky ass week too, so it's nice to come in here and just even if it is for like an hour and 30 minutes, just to get my mind off of stuff. It is nice. Dawn to talking with the Nintendo Dawn talk with the $5 super chat, If Ragnarok can keep a 95 and it was worse than the original in a lot of ways, Tears of the Kingdom better stay at least within 1 point. Yo, what happens if it gets below a Ragnarok score?
Nah, man, don't say that. Don't say that.
Yo,
man.
if this game gets an 89, we're never going to hear the end of it. It will be over.
Nope, and Slow-Mo going to be the one that's going to lead the charge. He going to be like, I told you.
I have a feeling he would go.
He going to be like, Nintendo can't handle. He going to be like, Nintendo can't handle prosperity.
Yeah, and I kind of disagree with him because I saw him in the chat saying stuff about it shows that they can't do AAA. Here's the thing: no one's going to excuse Redfall for the condition Redfall was in, but
no,
I know a lot of stuff that's behind the scenes, and I'm telling you, Redfall. It's not that it was exception because they've done that in the past, but there was extreme circumstances that led to where Redfall was. I agree. It should have been just canceled. Game should have just been canceled if they weren't going to actually pour money into it, more money into to delivering the title that the developers envisioned from the start. But I don't think that is a representation of what Arcane can do. I think that's one of those games. Yo, it's been in the oven too long. We got other stuff we want people to do, and we don't think this game can be savaged. We're not going to cancel it because we can get some of that money back. Throw it out there. We're going to go hide. And then when things are fine, we're going to come back up. That's what I see. I get it. At this point, Microsoft has done no favors to anyone. If you are on that fence about ever trusting them with the support, 100% understand. You have every right to do that. Lord Metro with the $2 super chat. Tears of the Kingdom ain't no 80. Stop mixing alcohol. Look, I didn't say it was an 80. I was just saying it would be funny if it was an 80. Because I'm curious to see if it was an 89. I'm curious to see, like, that's an amazing score. But if it was an 8, see, there's certain games like Halo, you expect that to hit the 90s. God of War, expect that to hit the 90s.
I'm telling you, man, if Tears don't hit a 90, man,
Zelda is one of those games you expect in the 90s. I don't think very few Zelda games have missed the 90s.
Yeah, I'll be shocked if that don't hit a 90. That I'll tell you, that's why I say it'll be more interest in it if it didn't hit 90 than it hit 97.
All right, so
people expect that.
Once again, though, I appreciate everyone coming through here. You know, hit that like button on your way out. I'm gonna send thank to Forte and Dirt for coming through. I was gonna do the show alone, and I was sitting there like an hour before the show because Dirt didn't know if he could make it because he got personal stuff going on. I'm like, I'm gonna see if Forte's busy because sometimes he can do stuff on the Wednesday, sometimes he can't. But you know, I'm gonna send you guys over there to Fame Entertainment on the Level 1 podcast. Go in there and tell them the Addict Show sent you, man. And I appreciate everyone coming through again. Really, you guys have no idea how much it meant to me. And until next time, next week, this is Lord Addict and Gaming Forte, and we out of here.